Hey, Marianne.
Hi, how are you?
Tired.
Um, how did
Pony
the
sweat?
pony sweat go?
Oh, it went great. It was so fun.
Yes,
It was just
yeah,
incredibly silly and fun and
uh, yeah,
raised a
yeah,
bunch of money. And it was
uh,
great. Thank you for
yeah,
asking.
yeah, good, good.
Yeah,
So
I think we're gonna
there
do
were
it next
so
year.
many things going on that day.
Oh, that
Um,
weekend was
yes,
bananas. It was like
yes,
at the big music
yes,
festival in
right,
East
yes,
Hampton,
I
and
know. Yes, I
there was
think
just so
that
much going
the
on.
Taste of Northampton was going on.
Yes,
That
and the Taste of
yes,
Northampton was going on,
yes,
and we had to
yes,
move the event because rain was forecasted, but then it didn't
right.
rain, and
Yes. Yeah. Anyway, but it was I was curious about it anyway, but it
and
looked
it was
like
like a
it
real
yeah.
workout. Like, and
Uh-huh.
I was kind of surprised by that. Like, it
Yes.
wasn't like a joke. It was like a real
Uh-huh.
workout. So
Yeah.
that was,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, it
Yeah.
was fun and everything, but I was like, everyone was
Right.
like sweating and
Right. Yes.
yeah,
Okay. Well, you know, pony sweat. So
yeah, only sweat. It's true.
yes.
It's true.
Yes.
Yeah, I still haven't signed up for the turkey trot, but I will.
Okay.
So
Excellent.
what was the
Good.
event that were you
So,
organizing it, Mel?
yeah, so I work for Trans Health, and we brought there's a national organization called Pony Sweat, and they're in LA, and
Uh-huh.
they do 80s style, fiercely non-competitive aerobics. And
Seriously,
so
okay.
we brought them, and then we had like teams like raising money, and
Uh-huh.
and then everyone came dressed in ridiculous 80s outfits, and then like did a bunch of jumped around and did a bunch of aerobics. Yeah.
Aerobics, yeah, aerobics. I used to do aerobics. Boy, you can really get a workout.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was wonderfully silly.
Good. That's the important thing, right? Having fun.
Yeah.
Cool.
Hey, Kate.
Hey, I am just finishing up dinner after a long work day, and I crave your indulgence as I am not on time.
Totally fine. I just wolfed down food right before this, so I understand.
Yeah, what's with the wall thing?
And does anyone, before we start, does anyone have ideas for bear-proof trash cans? Because we had a humongous bear open all of our trash cans last night that had locked lids and bungee cords on them, and
Oh
they opened
man,
all of them and
Wow.
and we have a camera out there, so we got this big beast on camera with
Yeah.
he has a tracker on him, so he's being tracked. He was very
Oh,
cute, but he made a big mess.
oh God, I bet. Oh, I don't
I bet
know. Like
nothing.
the kind of things that people take hiking are really sturdy, and I don't know if they have such a thing for
You
regular
need
trash
like a
cans.
bear can. I
Yeah.
think probably, like the thing that you take when you're hiking, like Michelle was saying, it's called a bear can.
I
They
don't know if they make them
apparently
big enough
really,
though. Do they
yeah,
make them big enough, Kate? I don't know.
but
Wow. I have seen people have little sheds that they lock, and I wonder if that's why. Because they have must have
yeah.
bears. They put their
Yeah,
trash
I
cans
think
in
that's
those.
the next thing we're thinking of is just like if we
Yeah.
can't find some proper. I mean, it was very adept to just like turn the lids, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
it knew how to open the lids.
Yeah, they do seem to learn these things. Okay, where are two other trustees?
So
Mhm.
Brad said he might be late.
Right, because he has a 7 o'clock meeting with New Salem.
And then
But Tim didn't say he wasn't coming, so I guess that's it, right? Just Tim and him.
you have Tim's um phone number. Could you text him?
Uh,
Texts don't go through from my house. Very good.
I can try. I think I might. I bet I have his. Let me look and see. Oops. Yep, there he is. right, I just texted him. You know, as you saw, I put in the reminder about in the agenda that, you know, we're down a person, so it's really important that we have everybody and to let us know if you
Yeah.
can make it.
We need at least one more person before we have quorum.
Right.
Do we
So
have a quorum with 4 people?
Yeah, we just need another one.
we have actually, I think it's arguable that we have a quorum with 3 people. It's 4 when we have 6. I think it's arguable that it could be 3 when we have 5. We only have 5 sitting trustees, and that is more than half, which is the clear intent of our bylaw. So I think we could argue that, but let's sit tight
Oh,
for
Tim
like a
said,
couple
Tim says
more.
he'll be right there, right here,
Okay,
so, yeah.
good, okay.
Okay, excellent.
Okay.
I don't have to rules lawyer our meeting. I'm so glad to see Elizabeth and Nathan here. Welcome.
Hey, Kate,
Michelle,
what?
sorry, go ahead. You're
We
chairing
just-
tonight, right?
I was just gonna ask, because I felt like I didn't know, but that's fine. If you've had a busy day, I haven't today, so I can do that.
If you are willing to, that would be
Yeah,
delightful.
no, that's fine.
You're such a pal. Thanks.
No problem. I get it. My work is just starting to gear up, so the next 2 weeks are gonna be kind of busy, but anyway.
Okay. Can I just flag that we should think about when our October meeting is? Because I'm on travel until the 17th
Yeah.
and would prefer not to do a meeting before then unless we really need one. Because I'm going to be 5 or
I don't think we need
6 hours
to.
out of time, so.
I bet we don't need to, right? I can't think of any reason why we could.
Hope
couldn't
not.
do that. Yeah.
I'm away October 16th to the 25th.
Oh, you are.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Should we just
So-
do it on the,
and
should we do it on the 30th then? Go ahead,
30th
Mary Ann.
works for me. The 30th works for me. I'm really going to try not to zoom in during this trip. So I'm going to try not to schedule things that I
I'm
need
going
to
to really
zoom.
encourage you not to zoom in during this chat.
Okay,
Tim's here.
great. So let's just review the agenda tonight. We're going to review the minutes from last time. Let's see, then we're going to talk, review and make a recommendation for an interim trustee that we would recommend to the select board. We have the director's report. If you have something to share like you usually do, the building committee report, if Brad shows up, and then if there's a friends update from Tim, that's what we have on our agenda, and then that's it. Anything else?
So can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Marianne, if Brad's not able to come, and I think he let us know that he wasn't at least for a while, are you able to do building committee update?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's just talk about the minutes. Brad took them and I did a little bit of editing and put them in a more typical format because he just sent them to me in an email. Was there anything that anybody had? I know Mel, you weren't here. And then, so it'd be Kate and Tim. Did you have any corrections or anything?
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. Near the bottom, if I remember, it said meeting house or something when it should have said.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. You know, see, that's Brad taking the minutes, right? He's
That's
thinking about his
Brad's
meeting house in New
autocorrect.
Salem.
Yeah.
Thank you. I didn't even notice that.
Michelle, do you want me to make the change? I have the
If
meeting
you
minutes.
can, sure. Thank you. That'd be great. Then we don't have to. Nobody has to send them to you because you have them.
You know what? I'm sorry, Michelle. I hate to interrupt, but are we supposed to record this meeting?
Oh,
Oh, is it not
Oh,
being
yeah.
recorded?
no, I
It's
remember checking.
being recorded.
Yeah, it's. I had to check. Got it when I first got in. So Yeah, it's being recorded. Oh, yeah, so we have to say
Okay,
the
but-
usual statement about, Mel, you
We
usually good at
don't have
that.
to say that anymore, I think, but we
Oh, we
do have
don't?
to
Okay.
record it.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes, it's
Thank you.
recorded. The only thing that Brad put in here that I wasn't sure of, Marianne, it was in the director's report, I believe, in the middle of the minutes. There was something he wasn't sure of and he had a question mark after it. Oh, I think there were a couple things. Okay, one of them was up at the near the top. The 2024 Mass MBLC ERA, that report, annual report you do, and he put spelling, question mark.
Okay, let me look.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
ARIS, ARIS, I believe, right, Marianne? That's the ARIS report.
Yes, yes. ARIS.
IS, okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Annual report information survey,
Mm-hmm.
ARIS. Okay.
And
I had
then
a
let's
couple
see.
things. Go ahead, Michelle, but I have a couple things if you
Okay.
didn't catch it.
The other thing was in the director's report when you were talking about the programming. Let's see.
Okay, so he's got, let's see, planning fall programs, 2 different art programs by Jeanette Stockton. That's true. That's right.
Okay.
So September 30th and November 5th. So that the date that's missing is September 30th.
Where is
Um,
that?
Under library director's report, the second line, he's got planning fall programs, 2 different art programs by Jeanette Stockton. And then he's
Yep.
got a question mark and so he wanted Saturday, September 30th, and because then he's got Sunday, November 5th.
Oh, September 30th. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Jennifer Lee is spelt correctly.
It's supposed to be
and
the cultural council. I thought I fixed that. I fixed it in my notes and then I didn't change
Okay.
it, right? The cultural
Alrighty.
council.
Yes, it's a
Okay.
cultural council grant for
Do
Jennifer
you see that
Lee.
now? Is it the same
Yeah.
sentence?
Yeah, it's
and
for
it's-
Jennifer Lee.
yeah, for Jennifer Lee, and it's to do bark basket making. She's a Native American woman.
Oh, right,
and
right,
it's
right.
a traditional craft.
Making projects.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see.
I have
And
another
let's
quick
see.
thing, if you don't know what you have, Marianne. Savannah's name is misspelled throughout. It's Savanna.
Oh, you're right. I didn't even notice that. Was there more than one time? Oh, yeah, there it is. It's funny, I didn't even notice
There's a
it.
couple, I think.
Yeah, it is.
Just find
Yeah,
Is it, Mel?
yeah. It was
Oh, yeah. Yep.
the
And
third paragraph and then down
Yep. Got it.
just before the library director's report, that one too.
Yep.
So did you anything else, Kate or Tim?
No.
Okay. Do you
I
have
had
Kate?
a question just because I can't remember. Did we confirm positions at the July meeting?
We did, and I sent them back to Mel. I hope I did. I think I did it that night. There was very little
I
to change.
couldn't remember if we did it in July or August. If we did it in July, then it's minuted and we reviewed it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
Yeah, we did them.
Sorry. What were you asking?
We
The
did
minutes last
select
time.
positions in July, so they shouldn't be in this month's minutes, and they are not. So we're good.
Right. So, Michelle, do you mind forwarding me those minutes again? Because I don't
Okay.
remember them, but I probably
Yeah, I
did.
did it that night to make sure I wouldn't forget, so I can find
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Appreciate
no
it.
problem. No problem. Writing myself a note. Okay.
Hi, everyone. This is Brad.
Oh,
I was able to
hey, Brad.
join you. I'm in my car, so I'm going to turn off video because you can't see me anyway.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you for joining us.
Hey,
We were
Brad,
just,
awesome.
you're probably going to lose us though. Are you sitting in the car? You're going to stay in New Salem the whole time? Because if you drive home, you'll definitely lose us.
I'm sitting in the car.
Okay. All right.
I have okay internet here.
Okay. Good. All right. Are you able to stay for the rest of the meeting?
Yeah, if it doesn't go on too late.
Oh, yeah, no,
Sure.
I just meant, are you done with New Salem?
I'm done with New Salem, yes.
Okay, all right, so why don't we approve the minutes as corrected? Tim?
Are you making a motion or?
Well,
I-
yeah, I'm making the motion even though I'm chairing. So we can
Uh,
just
I
move
move
Someone
on.
we
needs to
accept
second
the
it.
minutes as amended.
Okay, great. Okay, and then Tim?
Yeah,
Okay, Kate?
Yes.
Michelle, yes. Brad, you know, we just fixed them,
Yes.
so just, okay, all right. All right, so the next thing we need to talk
Skip
about.
Mel?
Question really quickly. I don't
Wasn't
usually
there.
put in,
Sorry, go ahead.
I usually
What's that?
just put, I usually just put that the minutes were approved unanimously. I don't usually put as amended. Is that
Oh.
bad?
No,
No? Okay. Very good.
Yeah.
It's good to hear.
okay. So what do we want to do next then? We need to recommend a trustee and we also need to see what else we have that's pressing. I mean, that's the most pressing in my mind.
I agree, Michelle.
Okay, let's do that then. Okay,
I wonder
So-
if we want to take 5 minutes to fill this out.
yeah, that's fine. So Elizabeth, what we're doing is we all read there's 3 applicants and we had a rubric that we had used for the building committee also. And we're just looking at, you know, the content of what people said in their letters about any relevant experience, blah, 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 that kind of thing. So we're just doing a numerical score to try to be objective. And it's just for the rest of the term. I don't know if you know that, till town meeting, and then anybody who wants whoever's selected by the select board will have to run again if they are interested in pursuing it. Beyond that.
Yes, thanks.
Okay,
Thanks for letting me know. And if
Sure.
you have any further questions about me, I'm happy to answer any questions or introduce myself or anything like that. So you can feel free to go ahead.
okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess we just don't interview people, so it's nice you showed up, but then, you know, then you have an unfair advantage in some ways over other people. So anyway, just let me know when you guys are done.
I only have information on 2 people.
Oh, well, let's see, Marianne was receiving them. The last one came out several days ago.
I
I've
sent
got
it,
one.
I sent it in a separate email.
Right, because it came by
Um,
itself.
Yeah, let me
I have
let
one
me
for
make sure
Stan
you,
Palmer and for Pam, and it looks like I'm missing Elizabeth.
so
Hmm.
weren't Elizabeth
Okay.
and Suzanne's on the same page?
They were, yes, they were sent together. Pam's came later.
Oh, wait. Okay. Sorry.
You want me to send it to you again, Tim?
I just have to open the one with
Okay.
Pam.
All right.
Okay, I'll give you a few minutes. While he's doing that, do you want us to do a library
Director
director's
report?
report? Yeah,
Okay. So we have a new teen volunteer, Forrest Carvalho, who was born in Shutesbury. He's a senior at Amherst High School, and he's been using the library for his entire life. And he'll be coming in on Wednesday afternoons. We were nominated, I forgot to tell you this last month, but we were nominated for the Institute of Museum and Library Services National Medal for Museum and Library Services by
Wow.
Congressman McGovern.
oh,
Now, this
Could you-
is,
Sorry, could
Yeah.
you say all that again? That was long.
okay, yes, all right, so the Institute of Museum and Library Services National Medal for Museum and Library Services. So Congressman McGovern nominated us, and that's a real honor. This is if a library accepted the nomination, then there was an application that needed to be submitted. So And it's a long shot. There are 15 awards nationwide. But there is a monetary award. And so any money that there's a chance that we'll get, I'm going to try to get it. And so I submitted the application. I had to have 3 letters of recommendation from the community. And actually, Elizabeth, didn't you write one? Or maybe so anyway, I submitted the application September 1st, and I had 3 letters of recommendation, and I don't even remember who they all were from, but I have it all written down. So I have all the records. So that was nice. Let's see. We'll be collaborating with the SAC for a pumpkin carving event with hay rides on Saturday, October 28th. We did this last year and it was a really nice event. And then for the Friends of the Library, so Tim, there hasn't been a meeting yet that Tim has been at, but I'll give you an update on what's been going on. So
Announcements about meetings.
no, well, the only thing that has been the annual meeting. Did you get that email? Well,
No.
anyway, I'll announce that too. So the Friends are busy planning the Road Town Turkey Trot for Saturday, November 18th. So they're hoping that this is going to be a big celebratory road race. It's going to start at the cemetery on Leverett Road and go up to Pelham Hill Road and then south on Pelham Hill Road to Leonard Road and then down Leonard to West Pelham and then back. The finish line will be at the school. And the Friends are soliciting sponsors from businesses in the surrounding communities and they have successfully solicited about a dozen sponsorships already, and
Wow.
people are beginning to register for the race. So, and the Friends are working with Network for Good. So I don't know, a year ago, I applied for a grant from the Community Foundation on behalf of the Friends to participate in a program called Jumpstart, which is a fundraising coaching program. And a small group of friends and volunteers has been meeting with the fundraising coach from Network for Good. And this event came out of that. And so people are learning about having large events like this and soliciting sponsors and bringing in a larger community. And it's been really fun to see it all take shape. So that's November 18th. And then the Friends have a new sort of smaller fundraiser that's going to be happening before then. So somebody who lives on Leverett Road, Carrie Hawkins, is going to be taking down her garage and putting on an addition. And so she needs to empty out her garage. And so she asked me for ideas about where all of the stuff could go. And then out of that conversation, she decided that she would host a tag sale of everything in her garage with all of the proceeds going to the Friends of the Library New Library Fund. And then another neighbor of hers who also has a garage full of stuff who lives right on Leverett Road, is going to have a tag sale the same day, and with all the proceeds benefiting the New Library Fund. So that's just
Nice.
kind of a fun thing.
When is that one? When's that event?
That's October 14th.
October 14th.
And
That's
they're
great.
not going to, people can donate, but we're not going to make a big effort to gather donations, because we don't have a giant tent. But small things and from small numbers of people can be added to the tag sale. And then the Friends annual meeting is going to be Sunday, October 29th. And let me look up the time. unless you know Tim. Um,
No, I don't.
let's see. I think it's 10 a.m. I can't,
Okay,
Matt uses several emails and, so
it's far
sometimes,
enough away that,
Yeah, yeah.
we'll hear
Um,
before then, I'm
and
sure.
it's gonna be at the library. Okay, so yes, Sunday, October 29th, 9 a.m. at the library. So it's gonna be early. And so that's gonna be the annual meeting. So that's Friends of the Library News. And then, are you ready to go back to, the ranking of the,
I don't know, has everybody had a chance to score now? Reset?
I'm working,
Um,
but the sheet's giving me real fits here.
I'm embarrassed to say this, but where is the rubric?
I emailed it.
Okay.
That's
Looking
probably
at-
the file. I wasn't able to
Probably
open it.
yesterday, I think.
I
Do you
don't have
want
the
me to
rubric. I
resend
think
it?
I couldn't open it.
Yeah. If you just have a phone, it's hard. It was a Google Drive document.
I'm on my computer, but it's giving me fits with Google at the moment.
Oh, boy,
That's what I'm having.
that's so weird. I wonder why.
But I'll be honest with you, I know so little about all three of these people that I don't feel that I can make a decent observation.
Could I speak a little bit to that, Michelle? Would that be okay?
Yeah, go right ahead. Yeah.
Thank you. Honestly, I was delighted at the three people who put their names forward. I don't think there's a bad choice. I do think there's a better choice. But I don't think there's a bad choice. So, the reason that I think there's a better choice is I think that there's one person who clearly brings things that are lacking to the board. I think a couple of the people have, been in town for a long time and have been library supporters for a long time. And I don't mean to do anything to denigrate the importance of loyalty and service. And I think there's also most of the people, I think actually all of the people on the board have served for a number of years and have been residents in town for a number of years. And I was gonna say that I think that Elizabeth would bring something that we need and would really value and benefit from, which is the perspective of someone who's newer in town, this perspective of someone, again, forgive me, who's younger than most of us, the perspective of someone whose children are younger than most of ours. And so just putting cards on the table, when I looked, and I like I said, I appreciate everyone's application and letter of interest, and I appreciate everyone's willingness to serve, and I don't think there's a bad choice. I just think there's a better one. Thanks.
Can I go on top of that? I'm having a huge amount of trouble with this, but I can tell you what my ratings would wind up being. Since I've had some exposure through Elizabeth's activities, she would get the highest number of points if I could actually get them into the sheet.
It's just meant for you, for your own notes, really, Tim. So,
Excuse me?
okay. It's really meant just for your own notes. It's okay.
Okay, so the others would basically, almost all categories would have zeros for me. Not because I think any less of them, I just don't know that much about them.
Mm-hmm.
But seeing Elizabeth be involved with things from afar, I have not met her as an individual, but so that would be where my thoughts would lean to.
Okay. Brad, do you have any
Put her hand
comments?
up, Michelle.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. I was
Oh, it's
looking down because I was taking notes. Okay, go ahead, Mel.
I just had a clarifying question about Elizabeth's letter, which says, Elizabeth, your pronouns, she, her pronouns or other pronouns?
She, her.
Okay. So it says, she says that her address is in Amherst. So I just wanted to get a clarification on that.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
I just put that because it's my mailing address, but
Got
I'm a
it.
Shutesbury resident on 452 West Pelham Road.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
right, because people that
There's
far
people
out.
that
Yeah,
have
I
that,
just, yeah,
and they're
I
right on
just,
the
I didn't know that. So I just wanted to, I was like
Yeah.
confused, but thank you.
Okay, well then maybe, Brad, do you have a comment or?
I also have a Amherst address, and I live in Shutesbury.
Yeah, because you're right at the line.
Yeah, I'm further down on West Pelham Road. I'm on the
Yeah.
right at the end of West Pelham.
Yeah.
I read all three, and I felt like all three are great people. It was hard for me to distinguish who has any pluses within that. I felt like some of the comments sounded to me more like comments for someone who would volunteer at the library, not be on the trustees, and some others, someone who talked about fundraising, I felt like that was more a friends of the library than the trustees. I was impressed with Elizabeth. I would be happy to support any of the three, but I also would say I was impressed with Elizabeth as well. So I guess what I'm saying is I give her a slight edge, and I can't really rate beyond that.
Okay. All right. Mel, are you ready or do you need more time?
No, I was just going to say that I would, I really, I mean, I enjoyed all three of the letters, but would give Elizabeth the highest score.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, actually, I did score it. And Elizabeth and Pam were only apart by 1 point, and only because I already know Pam. She's on the garden club. I've seen her as a volunteer. I actually worked with her at Irving. I mean, I was very part-time, so I didn't have a lot of interaction with her. But I was also impressed with what Elizabeth had to offer. And Suzanne, I scored a lot lower because I felt like it wasn't really what she portrayed in the letter just wasn't what I guess I thought we were looking for as far as a trustee goes. So I'd be fine with Elizabeth since it seems that's the direction we're going.
So can I make a motion, Madam Chair?
She might, go ahead.
Okay, with appreciation to all of the people who sent letters, and I think they all had things to offer. And I'm grateful to all of them. I move that we recommend that Elizabeth Murphy be our recommendation to the select board for a replacement, or I don't know exactly how to word this. Maybe some people can help me.
Maybe
but
an interim
for our
trustee.
finish
Yeah.
out the term to complete the term of for the open trustee position.
Wait 1 second.
Second.
Okay, all in favor. We have to do a roll call. Mel,
Aye.
Tim,
Aye.
Brad,
Bye.
Kate,
You bet. I mean, yes.
and Michelle. Yes. Okay, good. All right. Well, Elizabeth, there you go. Now you know that our recommendation. All right. Brad, are you able to give like a building update? I know that there's an email came out from the building committee saying that there's a public hearing coming next Tuesday, right? Next Tuesday night, I think it is.
As I always do, I can make some comments, and then I suspect Marianne can fill in some of my gaps and paint a better picture. But anyway, the two things that strike me, one is we had a meeting last week and we were getting into more detail of the design. It was exciting. Our last meeting was quite long, just because we kept going into details. I don't think I have anything to say about that other than appreciating the process. And then the biggest thing really is the open forum that's being planned at the elementary school. I don't have the date in front of me, But it would be great for us all to be there if that's possible. Marianne, what's the date of that meeting?
It's Tuesday, September 26th, so a week from tomorrow at 7 p.m. So,
And what did I leave out?
so about the forum or about,
Well, how about
other
the
Okay.
small, library building committee?
okay.
Can I just
Uh,
ask about the forum, what the goal of the forum is? So I could put that in the notes.
Say
It's
what
an
the
open,
goal of the forum is?
Yeah, like
the
it's a
purpose.
open forum to do what, to look at the design together as a community? Okay.
That's my understanding. Does that sound right, you guys?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought I read in the email. I had it on my phone. I just wanted to make sure I got it in my paper calendar. So I don't forget. Okay, Kate, go ahead.
I'm so bummed that I won't be able to be there. I'm on travel, but before we go too quickly ahead, can we just take a moment to congratulate Elizabeth? It would be unusual and in my experience, unprecedented for the select board to not approve the recommendation of the trustees. We have had situations like this before. They've never not taken our recommendation. I think they'd need a really good reason not to, and I don't see that they have one. And so it's a real honor to welcome you provisionally, pending final approval to the Board of Trustees. And I did wonder if we might just take a minute and introduce ourselves in our roles, because we all
That's a
have
good-
them and they're all important. Would that be okay, Michelle?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, well, I'll go first then. I am Kate Sell. I have been on the Board of Trustees since 2011. And I have the honor of co-chairing the board with, over to you, Michelle.
I'm the other co-chair, Michelle Regan Ladd, and let's see, my daughter was 8 when I started, so I think it was 2007. I think. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Job for life. I hope you're getting the.
I was the secretary for a long time. I'm so glad to have passed it off to other people and currently Mel, who does a great job. And then Tim, how about yourself?
My name's Tim Logan. This is my third year. My term would end in June of 24. I'm sort of the unofficial liaison to the Friends, and that's about it.
And Mel?
I'm Mel De Silva, and I have lived in Shutesbury for I think 8 years, and I don't know how long I've been a trustee, but I've been on the ballot twice, and they were fiercely, fiercely contested elections. That's not true at all. That's
So is this your first year of your second term? So that must
my
be
second
4.
term.
So
Yeah,
this,
and
yeah,
I've
so
only
at
been-
least three plus, yeah.
I've been the secretary, clerk, whatever you want to call it. So I take the meeting minutes, and yeah. So and I love doing this, and really glad that you're going to be hopefully almost certainly joining us.
Okay, Brad?
I'm Brad Foster. I live south of you on West Pelham Road. I am the treasurer of the trustees. I also serve on the library building committee. There's a larger group that I'm on, and a smaller subgroup of that gets into more detail, and I'm not on that one. So I'm on the larger library building committee. And I forget how long I've been, several terms.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Been a while. Elizabeth, is there anything you'd like to say? Sorry, I don't mean to put you on the spot, and yet.
No, you're not. Well, everyone, I'm Elizabeth Murphy. I'm so happy to be appointed to this position. As a newcomer to Shutesbury, sort of, it has been so important for me to, become a supporter of the library. And I think this is a good way for me to do it. I'm excited to meet all of you, and I feel, as someone who has been going to Miss Katie, who does the preschool music for all this time with my young children, I feel really honored to take the position of Miss Katie's wife on the Board of Trustees. That's really special for me. So hope to see you all soon at the select board meeting, and really wonderful to meet you.
Great.
That's lovely. Thank you.
Okay. All right, great. So I think that was about it, right? So building date, yeah.
Well, so I have more to say about the
Okay,
um
building committee.
yeah
Okay, go
if
ahead.
it's fine.
Yeah, go right ahead. Yeah,
Okay.
we got a little
Alrighty.
sidetracked, but it's okay.
All right. So we're now in design development. So after the schematic design phase, we the next phase is design development when we delve deeper into the design and really go through, fine tune the nitty-gritty details of this building. So we're about 6 weeks in, maybe 5 weeks in, 6 weeks in. This phase will last about 12 weeks. And at the end of it, there'll be a pricing set that goes off for another cost estimate to make sure we're still on budget. So that pricing set will go to the cost estimator at the very end of October, and we'll have a design development cost estimate before Thanksgiving. At the last design subcommittee meeting, we discussed energy systems and lighting. So, so we saw detailed plans of the heating, cooling, and ventilation systems. And then of the proposed lighting systems, and then the controls for those systems. So no longer do public, we're not going to walk into a brand new public building in Massachusetts and just go around flicking light switches that would all be programmed and timed, and you would walk into a space and the lights will come off, and when nobody's in the space the lights will go on, on and off. I had those opposite. We did decline to have the ability to have remote control of the energy systems and lighting systems. We thought we didn't need those expenses, and that the library director of this building doesn't need to be controlling the HVAC and lighting from home, or wherever that library director might be. We've been talking about finishes. The plan currently calls for slate siding, with some wood accents. And for the wood, we're considering a chemically modified wood product called Akoya. It has a 50-year warranty, even without being finished. So it's a very low maintenance product. The slate siding is a no maintenance product that really will last for 100 years or more. The building will have a standing seam metal roof, which is the best roofing when you're covering with solar panels. The Conservation Commission permitted the geotechnical investigative work that needs to be done, and the infiltration testing that's needed for the project, and that will be scheduled for the first week of October. We have to wait 10 days. There's a 10-day appeal period. So we're working on that.
Repeat that. The
Yeah, I was
Conservation
gonna ask if you could repeat it too.
What did the Conservation Commission?
So the Conservation Commission permitted the geotechnical work and the infiltration testing that needs to be done. And the work will be done, it's currently scheduled for the first week of October. So it'll be some soil borings and some test pits so that we know what the structure of the soil underneath where the building will be is, and that we know, the test pits are in places where there'll be stormwater management project, areas. We're also working on finding a well driller to install a well to gather some preliminary data needed to design the plumbing system. And so I've been spending a lot of time calling well drillers and trying to get quotes, and I finally have one, and the committee is going to be meeting tomorrow night. So we'll hopefully be choosing a well driller and then getting the well installation scheduled. We have a perk test scheduled for September 27th. So there's a lot happening, and it's really very exciting. And if you can't, so the meeting on the 26th will be both in person and on Zoom. And if you can't attend, then there'll be the Zoom recording, and we'll have the meeting slides. So for Kate, who'll be traveling outside the country. And so that's all I had to say. Did that trigger you to think of anything else, Brad, that I might have missed?
No, that covered it. Thanks.
Okay.
Great. Unless there's something else.
The Cypress petition, I have an update about that.
Oh,
Yeah. So you all saw the petition so the Cypre petition, or Cypress, I don't know how you say it. So Elizabeth, the library has a small memorial fund that was given to the library in 1933 by William Spear, who was Myrick Spear's son. And that money was intended for the care and maintenance of the library. And since the Spear Library will no longer be the library, it means that money wouldn't be able to be used for anything, really. So there is an administrative process that organizations can go through with the Attorney General's office called Cypre. It's CY and then PRES. And so the trustees a few meetings ago voted to go through this administrative process, and the town council has completed the paperwork in order to do so. And the trustees, Kate and Michelle, signed the petition, and Mel, as the clerk, wrote some statement, and then the chairperson of the building committee had to vote to accept the fund if it becomes available for the project. So the money will be used for the new library. And then at some point, the trustees and the building committee will all have a joint meeting and decide an appropriate way to honor the Spear family in the new building. Name a space in their honor. So Donna has all of the pieces of that petition, and will be submitting it. I had to mail her the signature pages, your signature and Elaine's signature pages. And then once she received those, she'd be submitting it. And then, then she'll keep us updated as to the process as it goes through the Attorney General's office.
great. Kate, you have a question or a comment?
Yeah, I do. It's not about that. Thank you for the update. At our next meeting, I know we're going to choose a date. I have a question about the process for recommending Elizabeth to the select board. Is it sufficient to send an email to Michelle, recording the vote of trustees to recommend Elizabeth? Is that how we proceed? I'm sorry, I can't remember what happened last time we did this.
I don't even remember doing this.
Right. So what Becky said is that that you can send an email, but that the trustees should go to that select board meeting on Tuesday and have a trustee meeting. And then there should be a joint vote of the two boards.
And what was that meeting date?
That's
The
also
20
the 26th, but it'll be earlier.
Oh,
Would we have a quorum? I will not be present.
Mel, Brad, and Tim, can you do that?
I think so, yes.
I can, depending what
Yes.
time it is.
I can do it, I think. What time would that be?
So, it be anywhere between 5 and 6:30 p.m. And it'll be brief. They'll give us a time on the agenda, and then it'll be very close to that time. They keep a good tight agenda.
5
request
would
a
probably be,
time.
5 might be really hard for me. I'm not sure what time I'm gonna be in Southampton till that day. And Mel, you work. What's
Right.
your,
I can request a time.
okay. What would work for you, Mel? I don't know if Tim or Brad have commitments, but
5 would be really, I mean, it depends. I mean, if it were 5, I could just stay at work and do it
mhm.
and then come home. So I guess I could make any time work.
Okay. How late do you usually work?
It depends on the day.
Oh, all right, okay.
Yeah. So
How about Tim and Brad? Do you have commitments that day?
I'm flexible. So
Okay, Brad.
whatever
Brad?
works.
The only thing, I'm doing some tech stuff for the hybrid meeting at
Okay,
SES. So I
So-
just have to have time to set that up.
okay. So it sounds like it should be earlier than, rather than later, huh?
Yeah, it shouldn't get too close to 6:30, for instance. The meeting's
Yeah,
at
yeah.
7. Well, actually that's true because I don't know when I can get into the school.
Okay. Well, let's just pick a time then. I'll just tell, since I don't have a commitment on time from Southampton, I'll just say I have to leave at this certain time. So I can, because it's an hour.
Does
for me to
6
get
work?
home. It
Does
would,
6
for
o'clock
me,
work?
yeah, for me. So, okay, why don't we say 6 then? Do you want me to email them or will you, Marianne? Does it matter?
I can. That's
Okay.
fine
Okay,
right now.
okay. All right. Sounds good then. I'll put that in my
And then
calendar.
I had a follow-up request or consideration for our next meeting. We had some conversation about our next meeting, and talked about on the 30th of October. I wanted to just see if that date was okay for people. And then I had a proposal, which may sound wild, but is there any prohibition for doing our next meeting in person? I think it would be awesome if we, assuming select board approves Elizabeth's appointment at their next meeting, if we could have our next meeting in person. I've never met Elizabeth. I don't know if
Me
you.
neither.
So, and I would love to. Is there any prohibition to our having an in-person meeting? And is anyone uncomfortable, given that the pandemic goes on, with an in-person meeting at the library?
Well, so if there were an in-person meeting, I think it would have to be at town hall and it would have to be hybrid. So the select board has been meeting in person, but they have hybrid meetings.
Mhm.
And town hall has the equipment to have a hybrid meeting. The library doesn't
Okay.
have the equipment for a hybrid meeting.
Is that an enormous hassle to set
No.
up at this?
You
No,
know
I
how-
do it all the time.
Okay. That sounds fine to me.
So I guess I make a motion that our next meeting be the 30th of October in person at town hall, assuming we can get the time at our regular hour of 7:30.
Fine with
It would
me.
be so fun to see y'all. I would be so thrilled.
It's true. It's true. It's so rare that I bump into any of you. Marianne's about it. And I live across the street from Kate, but I never see her unless she's in the car.
I live like across the street from.
I second the motion.
Okay. All in favor? Do a roll call, Mel.
Yes.
Okay, Tim,
Aye.
Brad,
Aye.
Kate,
Yes.
and Michelle, yes. Would that work for you, Elizabeth?
That works for me.
Okay, perfect. Okay, great. I
Oh,
think
man, it would be our first
in-person
in-person
meeting
meeting
in,
since
like, since
years.
2020
March of 2020.
sometime. Yeah, yeah. I do really miss those in-person meetings. I do get kind of tired of Zoom. Because I'm doing most of my work now. I'm doing more in person than going in person into schools. So, okay,
Yeah.
nice to see you all. I think
Okay,
we're all set.
so I'm going to email the select board, letting them know that you have voted to recommend Elizabeth for appointment to the trustee position, and that you request a 6 p.m. joint meeting time on the 26th. Okay.
Mhm.
And then I'm going to post the meeting for October 30th, and I'm going to post it as a hybrid meeting. Okay. In
Yep.
person. Okay.
Do you also have to post the 26th as a library trustee meeting?
Yes. Yeah, I'll post that once I know the time.
Okay.
So, okay.
Okay.
And Michelle, a reminder that when we do that kind of meeting, we actually have to do the call to order that we usually kind of skip as a group.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's
I'll
in
try to
between.
help
Oh,
you
that's right. I
remember.
have to do that
Okay.
because you won't be
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
I
I'll help.
I'm on a
I'll help.
plane.
Okay,
try to
call
help.
to order.
Thank
Okay.
you.
All right. Hopefully I'll remember.
right.
I think that's it then. So we can adjourn, and nice to see everybody tonight. And I guess maybe I'll see some of you at the meeting with the building committee meeting next week. Oh, there's Brad. Bye. Good
Awesome.
night.
Thank you.
Have a
Michelle.
safe,
Thanks,
have a
everybody.
safe trip, Kate.
All right.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everybody. Okay.
Bye.
Good
Thank
night.
you. Mel, I'll
Night.
find those minutes from last month and
Thank
send them
you.
to you.
Sorry,